How can the most complex object in the universe still be a mystery? Despite millennia of human advancement, the 3-pound organ inside our heads remains an enigmatic frontier. The human brain, a tangled web of nearly 90 billion neurons, surpasses the world's most powerful computers in both capability and creativity. Its imagination grants us the ability to not only perceive our own reality, but envision alternate worlds, build symphonies, dream up distant galaxies, and invent new ways of seeing ourselves. Yet, even as satellites scan the distant edges of the galaxy, we know more about faraway nebulae than we do about the depths of our own minds. The paradox is striking. Housed within each of us is the ultimate mystery. What powers remain dormant, waiting to be unleashed by those willing to explore them? In this journey, we seek to unlock the brain's hidden potential, peering into stories, science, and controversies that keep us wondering what's possible for the mind of humankind. From the moment a baby opens its eyes to the world, a profound story is already unfolding inside the brain. At the University of Washington, researchers discovered something astonishing. Every infant, no matter their background or birthplace, is born with the potential to learn any language spoken on Earth. For the first year of life, babies can distinguish more than 800 separate phonetic sounds, the raw building blocks that create all human languages. This universal linguistic capability fades with age. Yet, for a time, the world's entire vocabulary is within reach. Even their earliest babbling is more than random noise. Studies show these sounds are produced in structured patterns, hinting at innate rules and a natural desire to communicate. The brain of a newborn is a marvel, acting far beyond a blank slate and closer to a super-absorbent sponge. In fact, compared to their tiny bodies, a baby's brain is proportionally larger and more active than at any other point in human life, consuming nearly 60% of the body's energy. For adults, this number slips to around 20%. What does this mean? It means that every human begins life with unimaginable cognitive potential. Before we forget the world's languages and before our experiences etch deeper neural grooves, our brains stand ready to master anything. Hidden within each of us is a similar genius. The key lies in nurturing and unlocking it. Despite centuries of scientific advancement, the human brain stands as one of the last great mysteries of existence. For thousands of years, physicians, philosophers, and poets alike have attempted, and mostly failed, to unravel its secrets. Two questions linger. Where did the universe come from, and where does our consciousness arise? These questions are as profound today as they were when posed by the earliest thinkers. The brain isn't a static organ, frozen and unyielding. Instead, it's in perpetual flux, reshaping itself with every memory, emotion, and sensation. This adaptability, or neuroplasticity, is both a fountain of possibility and a source of confusion. Sometimes, accidents shed unexpected light on how the brain truly works. In 1848, Phineas Gage, a railroad worker, survived a catastrophic injury. A metal rod was blasted clean through his skull and frontal lobes. He lived, but friends noted a different man returned, more impulsive, less restrained, a living testament to the brain's influence on personality itself. Gage's survival contributed to a seismic shift in how science saw the mind, not merely as an unchangeable essence, but as a constellation of functions, behaviors, and quirks that could be shaped, damaged, and understood. As much as trauma can damage the brain, sometimes it appears to unlock something extraordinary. Derek Amato is a prime example, a man whose life took an unimaginable turn after a diving accident left him with a severe concussion. For most of his life, Amato was an average man with little musical background. But when he awoke from his injury, his mind had changed. The keys of the piano called out to him as if he'd spent years mastering their secrets. In just a matter of days, he found himself composing and playing complex musical pieces with his eyes closed, hands guided by patterns of black and white. Doctors called this acquired savant syndrome, an extremely rare condition where, following trauma, people suddenly display profound talents in music, art, mathematics, or memory. These stories suggest that, buried deep inside even the most ordinary minds, are reservoirs of genius waiting to be tapped. But why are these abilities so rarely expressed? What keeps these skills locked away, except in the aftermath of extreme events? The answer may lie in the mechanisms the brain uses to filter, process, and focus information, protecting us from overload, but sometimes, accidentally, opening a new door. Genius has always fascinated humanity. Is it the product of nature, nurture, or something else entirely? Take the example of Tanis Abraham, a young prodigy who graduated from college at the age of just 15. His intellectual development seemed to soar ahead, while most of his peers were still learning the basics. Such cases spark a persistent debate. Are prodigies like Tanis born with brains wired for brilliance? Or are these talents honed by unique environments rich in stimulation, opportunity, and support? Scientists remain divided, with research showing that prodigies often possess unusual neural sensitivities, heightened plasticity, or even emotional challenges that push them to exceptional heights. Some suggest that practice and passion trump genetics, while others point to brain scans that reveal faster synaptic connections or rare patterns of brain activity. There is one common thread: plasticity. The brain's remarkable ability to reshape itself, strengthen connections, and reallocate resources may very well be the root of genius. It means, with the right nurturing, intense focus, and perhaps a touch of luck, extraordinary abilities could be within reach for more people than we ever thought possible. But what happens when a brilliant mind turns its gifts toward darkness? History is filled with the stories of criminals whose intelligence outstripped their morality. Ted Bundy, for example, was an unnervingly charming, articulate, and intelligent individual. Despite scoring above average in intelligence tests and studying law, Bundy used his gifts to manipulate, deceive, and ultimately prey upon others as one of history's most infamous serial killers. Research into the brains of violent criminals reveals some chilling clues. Imaging studies point to defects, injuries, or underactivity in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for empathy, moral judgment, and self-control. This small patch of tissue may be what separates genius from sociopathy, creativity from cruelty. As science progresses, we face difficult questions about responsibility, intervention, and privacy. If a brain scan could predict violent behavior, should society intervene? Should we alter or monitor those with pathological patterns? The line between protection and personal freedom grows blurrier with every discovery. Genius, it seems, is a double-edged sword, capable of building societies or tearing them apart. The boundaries of the human mind have always tempted explorers. Some claim these boundaries can be pushed far beyond the tangible senses, into the realm of the psychic. Stories like that of Angela Smith, who claims to have solved a murder using nothing more than psychic intuition, stir both fascination and skepticism. Decades ago, the United States government launched the Stargate project at the height of the Cold War, an attempt to recruit and scientifically test individuals who believed they could remote view distant objects, people, or events. Military analysts wondered, could the mind transmit information across thousands of miles, glimpsing secrets hidden by enemy lines? While the results were mixed and controversy raged over issues of credibility, the project shows how deeply we yearn to understand and maybe harness abilities that defy explanation. Whether these phenomena are rare brain functions, misunderstood intuition, or outright wishful thinking, they raise provocative questions. Are there hidden sensory channels within the brain? Is what we perceive only a sliver of a far greater reality? The answers, if they exist, remain elusive but endlessly tantalizing. In recent years, humanity has set its sights on an even more radical frontier. Can we digitize the mind itself? The ambitious answer lies in projects like the Human Connectome, a scientific effort to map every connection within the brain, each neuron, each synapse, painstakingly documented. Visionaries and technologists imagine the day when human consciousness could be uploaded, simulated, or shared with artificial intelligence. The possibility of immortality by means of digital preservation fires imaginations and fears alike. Yet, the challenge is monumental. The brain is not just a computer code, but a symphony of chemicals, signals, and memories, each unique and irreproducible. The philosophical dilemma that arises is profound. If a perfect digital copy of your mind is made with every thought, memory, and perception, is that copy actually you? Does the soul or the consciousness transfer or merely replicate? As we stand on the doorstep of merging biology and technology, our understanding of what it means to be human may never be the same. And so we arrive at the ultimate question. Should we unlock the full extent of the human brain's power? The allure is undeniable. Accessing greater intelligence, creativity, and empathetic capacity could accelerate humanity's evolution, solve global crises, and bring about an unprecedented era of discovery. But the risks and ethical challenges are as profound as the opportunities. What happens if extraordinary abilities fall into the wrong hands? What if manipulation, surveillance, or weaponization become possible? As we peer deeper into the brain's secrets, we must do so with a sense of caution, humility, and collective responsibility. The brain, our most powerful asset, is both a gift and a challenge, and today, we are only beginning to scratch the surface of its true capabilities. As you reflect on your own untapped potential, consider this. Inside each of us may lie the next great leap forward in human history. What will you do to explore your own mind's extraordinary frontier? For more journeys into the deepest mysteries of science and self, stay curious and keep searching.